9. There was the live championship pre-Germany. Fabio Quattroaro in second place. The top two men in the rankings, the top two men on the grid. There are your circa about one man. It's been the Marc Marquez show around this 3.7-kilometre sack ring.
There's Pecco Bagnaia. Can he bounce back into action and find the podium here today? Piera for Aprilia. Can Aleix Espargaro now get his first podium since the day
where Aprilia finally get their first podium in the modern four-stroke? It's based on Miguel Oliveira's brilliant speed and consistency in FP4 yesterday. Locked-to-shot device.
Motogp 2021 has been quite the spectacle. What? Zarco, but Quattroaro's coming through. It might well be Aleix Espargaro, and Marquez has got at the inside line as well.
Inside of Marquez into second place. The dream start then from the front row for Aprilia's Aleix Espargaro.
On the approach to turn 5, excellent start from him. Quattroaro pushed back to 4. The two Frenchmen then.
Surely is going to want to try and get to on Aleix Espargaro quickly here. He loves to be leading in the Saxon ring. It's trying to get away through on Fabio Quattroaro. They sweep up through turns 9 and 10. These fast left-handers. Turn 12 for the first time.
Zarco thought about a move. He wasn't close enough on Marc Marquez. It's as you were. Turn 13 in the background. Brad Binder. Oh, he is. He's having a lunge, Marc Marquez. In the meantime, Binder, great start from him.
83 Repsol Honda leading the way. He takes the lead from Aleix Espargaro. Quattroaro having a real corner.
Miguel Oliveira just struggling to get going in the early stages of this. He's 6th, he's got it. His teammate all over this to 12th. His teammate Leccarona up to 15th as well.
Disaster for two of the Yamahas. Vinales started P20. Pink turn 7 for the second time, and he leads in Germany.
Here's the move into turn 13 from... He's got that feeling back. This is the battle for second then. Zarco just behind him. He'll be... Have a look! He's through! Brilliant from Aleix.
Nothing wrong with Aprilia's corner speed. Aleix Espargaro's touched upon that all week. He made this move on the previous lap. He's made it again. Twitchy by Aleix Espargaro's Aprilia.
Oh no, look at the Ducati power. He's got the inside line now. Can he get through? No. Look at Miller again up the inside of Fabio Quattroaro.
Mistake. He did a 125 flat. That's dumped him to the back of the pack.
Mir's up to 12 for him to do. Alex Rins, his teammate, a bit further up in 8th. Martin 9th. Nakagami at the moment not really doing anything with that.
Aleix Espargaro be close enough to retaliate on Marquez down the hill into turn 12, just like he did last time around. To climb up towards turn 10.
Looking back from Aleix Espargaro to Johan Zarco. Espargaro was quietly trying to find a way through, but it's that familiar sight out front. It's like rolling back the years here. Mark down the hill into turn 12, so lap 3 to be completed. It will be Marc Marquez who sets the quicker than Espargaro behind him. Further back there then Fabio Quattroaro, not where he wanted to be.
Right, Steve, about Binder, he was the real hard charger. He is a Sunday man. He got the gloves off very early on. He's right on the so far. Started P6. He's circulating in 6th place right now.
Jack Miller in 4th, the board with the Aussie now. This is the area where Miller was suffering throughout the weekend. Second
side of the tyre, the wheel spin. Miller just couldn't get that rear tyre hooked up. He was brilliant in sector 1 all weekend. Now Aleix Espargaro, Marquez just that little bit later on the brakes, but again there, it looked like the Aprilia man had the better
place. Yamaha not where they want to be across the board.
Yeah, Oliveira's got into his groove now. He just sets quicker than the race leader, Marc Marquez. That's why he was able to comfortably ease on through Quattroaro.
All-time lap record set by Marc Marquez. Oh dear, what's happened here? Alex Marquez and Danilo Petrucci have had...
Marquez, not the time for Petrucci to be chewing dirt. He needs results to keep his seat in that case. Of course, as you'd expect, completely conflicting opinions. Danilo Petrucci, he's not had the best of luck this week.
We just saw further back on Jack Miller. We're on board with him now. Will we see the nose there of Miguel Oliveira?
Vinales is going to be frustrated again. The only men that are quicker than him on circuit right now are the men in 22nd place left. That early mistake dumped him to last.
Across the line, Quattroaro. Alex Rins doing a great job in the early stages of this one in 8th as well. We've got all 6 manufacturers. Martin is holding off Joan Mir. Mir's getting frustrated in 10th place.
Yeah, guys, looking at the times, they're doing between half and 3/4 of a second slower than faster than that yesterday with 20 laps on. So I really think Mark's got to the front.
For that, Simon. Also, to add to that, some of the guys that have got the better pace are mired behind other bikes.
Salvador is crashed. Looks going to move Morbidelli and Vinales at one spot. He would old tumble for the Aprilia man. Lap 6 completed. Marquez and Aleix Espargaro exchange.
Then Quartararo just cannot find a way through on the Monster Energy Yamaha rider. Rins is still there.
Taka Nakagami really didn't capitalise on the extra performance of that soft rear tyre at the start of this race. He missed from the medium front soft rear tyre combination. Nakagami down in 12th place. He was only a tenth slower than Marquez over the...
So back at the front, it's Marc Marquez who leads on lap 7 from the Aprilia. The Ren Twitchers on this lap from the Pramac Ducati rider. Has just cut him maybe a tenth or two adrift now of Aleix.
Espargaro in 11th, Nakagami in 12th. They're doing 1:22.2s. They're all running identical pace.
How long before the cream rises to the top, though? Jack Miller, what a lunge that. Wide, but that's brilliant. Jack Miller, the Aussie, just seeing the door open there from the Frenchman Johan Zarco, and he...
Just a few spits, and they're not going to disrupt this German Grand Prix. Pecco Bagnaia is having an absolute night. Just running out of momentum here. He's in 15th right now, Bagnaia. He's a second behind Rossi.
He won't be spooked by it. There might be others that are. That did not go to plan. That start for Marquez. Straight up the inside, sat up Quartararo. He lost momentum there as well. Let's look at it.
Quartararo got the initial jump, didn't he? And then Aleix Espargaro got up the inside of him, and then Marquez to be aggressive.
Meanwhile, the riders have just shot past us in the commentary box. At the front, you can see here, Jack Miller now is eyeing up a move on Aleix Espargaro through on Jorge Martin and has moved up into 9th place.
Yeah, he had to work hard for that pass. He had to be paid.
White flag has been displayed. Now that means that at any point now you can come in to change for wets if you are playing into the hands of Tranmere, who found something this morning. He'll be able to see the leader and he'll be thinking, hang on.
It's almost a second out of nowhere over the line. Marquez was leading by just a quarter of a second to go for it now, potentially with rain coming. He's a second clear of Aleix Espargaro out of nowhere. He
had to the white flag with the red cross. Rain falling.
Yeah, you can see the spots are on the camera lens.
On the curbs, there are spots of rain falling, and he slings it up the inside on the curbs, Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, just when he's losing places, hand over fist. The spots of rain just seem to be disturbing the Aprilia man. Alex Marquez. So Marc Marquez has got his head down here now. He's 1.5 seconds clear of
just nobody more is managing tyres anymore. They're just saying, let's use them up before it rains.
Close enough to get through on Jack Miller.
Marquez aware that if he builds up the judging, changing track conditions, Quartararo fires up the inside of Zarco in the final.
Really not comfortable with the rain falling in this early stage. The approach now then into turn. Make hay while the sun shines, I think is the quote. He's now 1.7, looking to find a way through just up ahead there. You could see a couple of spots on that camera lens, couldn't you?
You see, this is the difference. Espargaro.
What's happened?
Well, no, sorry, they were getting Marquez's spare bike ready, weren't they? Yeah, I was just
panic.
I thought initially there, for the scenario. Marquez does not care one jot about the championship. He's not a contender, so he can throw a call. A mistake now could be really costly.
Here he comes up the inside.
Nice. Yeah.
He's been lining that one up. The dress rehearsal came a bit. Of course, that risk, let's not forget, he won't want to take any big risks. He's dropped to 11th.
So,
Mears up to 8th.
We start lap number 12. Nowhere near halfway at the moment.
Board here with Johan Zarco looking at fellow Frenchman Fabio Quartararo. They are 1 and 2 in the World Championship.
About to be stretched to over 2 seconds for the first time here by Marc Marquez. It was 1.9 through Marquez through sector 2. Actually, Oliveira's just found a smidgen of time back. It's down to 1.
They might face even more trouble in the latter stages of this Grand Prix, trying to make all pans out. There's Quartararo then still ahead of Zarco in the battle for 5th. Binder behind them, Mir in 8th, Martin.
Almost 3 seconds out of contention. Oliveira's just set the fastest lap of the race. 100th quicker than Marc Marquez ahead of him.
The fan wall. 8 could probably win this one. Here is Miguel Oliveira then, a 22.0.
Yeah, the question mark's going to be, has he let Marc Marquez just get away? Mapping to preservation mapping, just to soften the power. We expect with about 10 laps to go is where the significant drop-off will be. A punishing race for Michelin. It's all about who can manage the left grip.
In this Grand Prix, there's Jorge Martin. He's doing a great job, the rookie 9th at the moment, ahead of Pole.
Doesn't look like there's going to be any silver lining, though, does it, for him? Maybe for the one part of Repsol Honda. 1:21.772. Again, he finds another 10th on Marquez.
They've been playing down their chances this weekend. We're jangling now. Santi Hernandez, the crew chief of Mark, gets nervous at the best of times. I wonder.
Set his personal best lap on the same lap, but it was a 1:22.063, which was cares.
Keeping a keen eye on proceedings, pit buyer, a KTM Motorsport director. It's been a second Binder in 7th place for the Red Bull KTM factory riders. 1.8 the gap up towards turn 13 to tick off another lap. It will be now 14 laps.
He responds to Oliveira's fastest lap with his own, a 1:21.772. Fabio Quartararo mighty close. They were all doing 22 flats, but it's still Marquez and Oliveira that have got the
case. It would be some story.
Oh, what a story it would be.
But there's a long way to go. This is the line, and the last 10 laps are anyone's guess.
2 seconds for the first time in this race. Marc Marquez.
Flag-to-flag race in Le Mans. You won't want to remember that one too fondly, of course, crashing out twice in the ring, and the undisputed king of the ring is on course at the moment to do it again.
Marquez in 2021 he's fighting back to full fitness after that career-threatening injury. Again, these two just keep exchanging fastest laps of this Grand Prix, and the gap.
There is Miller, Lacia Spargaro, Quartararo, Zarco at the moment in 6th.
Quickest lap is a 21.7. Marquez is just a fraction slower, so the gap just doesn't really deviate. It's lap 8 or 9. Mark's been able to manage that gap quite comfortably at the moment, although of course we've still got to get to
Mark's teammate just up ahead of Pecco Bagnaia and Alex Rins, who from him, Nakagami's not really done much with that soft rear. Rossi's there in 14th place, not running bad. You would expect to see Rossi a bit further ahead than this. He's into the late 22s at the moment.
He went for at the moment because he's in 5th place. Rossi's 14th.
Matching lap times at the front again,
but to get that gap down to under 1.7 seconds. There are two Yamaha men really struggling. Maverick Vignati with Suzuki in 2015. In fact, he's only ever once finished outside of points. Once in 17th he was.
Well, there's not just a gap forming here at the front in terms of this 2 second now is falling away. Cannot maintain the pace to keep up with Miguel Oliveira. However, we remember
in the first 2 sectors, that's where he's able to take those crucial couple of tenths out of Oliveira, and then Oliveira taking the KTM at the moment has just got that little bit of better edge grip.
Alberto Puig, round of applause. It's the World Championship leader. Here comes Binder up into 6th place ahead of Zarco, but he's really wide, and he
points potentially surrendered here by Zarco. He's really struggling at the moment.
This was the move for the World Championship leader. He needed to do that.
Could up for grabs here because Miller's dropping into the sort of mid-22s. Patrick working out a plan to get on par with Miller and then work out a plan to pass him as well and secure what the line. Sector 3 is where the KTM is better. It just seemed to be managing the rear tyre, the rear grip better through
on Zarco in the battle for 6th. Across the line we go, a 21.8, 3 tenths quicker that time, Miguel Oliveira.
Yeah, that's impressive. Marquez then back in the 22s. Binder and Zarco, I think he should give to me on a track notoriously hard to overtake on. He's done a lot of work just to get himself in.
Yeah, they found something in Sector 4 this morning. It's working out well. This gap at the front is going to come down now. I think Miguel Oliveira 3 by the end of this lap.
The second quickest man on the circuit at the moment, and this has happened for a couple of laps now, is Pecco Bagnaia. He'd done a really poor first few laps. He was down in 15th place at one point, but he's doing 22 flats.
Miller was struggling there on the exit of turn 11. Quartararo, the Frenchman, the championship leader then, is onto the podium. He's in 3rd. 1.9. It's 1.4 seconds between Marquez and Oliveira.
And Marquez down to a lot quicker than him. 11 laps to go, so we're 1 lap away from where it's really all about time.
He couldn't find his way around.
Steve, the quickest man on circuit right now, you keep mentioning is Bagnaia. In terms of race pace on Friday and Saturday, particularly in FP2 and FP4, he was running the eye, but he's paying so much for that heavy traffic in qualifying yesterday. If he'd have been on the front row, if spots
the Italian with 11 laps to go, he might still get something on offer though. There's a big group of riders up ahead of him I can still be a part of. There's still lots to play for in here, and out front the gap's going to come down again.
4 or 5 laps in a row now where Oliveira's nibbled time away from Marquez. It's further back.
There is Bagnaia involved in this group.
He's got to put a move on Martin super quick. This lap, it has to come this lap if he's got any.
Quartararo trying to get into his mode He was putting in lots of 121s yesterday in this race. Just a bit further behind there, Brad Binder now a pest to Aleix Espargaro trying to get through.
Because there's a freight train gathering behind him. Led by Aleix Espargaro, Binder's there as well, Zarco. It had to come at this stage to give himself any kind of chance to find his way back into contention.
8 from winning, but the gap again is another 10th gone. It's going to be some late pressure here.
For pressure, we're about to find out how he can handle it here now in Germany. He is on course right now with consecutive victory for Honda, who've had a nightmare over the last 18 months or so.
That's not been bad pace.
Very, very close to that indeed. Again, Marquez, he's just able to take a 10th.5 out of Oliveira. The Honda, the turning of the Honda in those gnarly first couple of sectors is working better than the KTM, but it's the rear grip of the KTM.
Though 3.7 seconds further back, Fabio Quartararo and this huge bundle of riders. Bagnaia will be a part. He cannot watch.
Well, they know what's coming.
It's normally the Jaws music the other way round.
Yeah.
Marquez has got to try and keep his cool because this Portuguese man with so much confidence flowing through his veins is going here.
Yeah, and once Bagnaia got through on Martin, he was able to immediately drop back straight into the 21. Do you know what? Bagnaia, so hard to overtake around this Sachsenring circuit. That may... He has got podium pace, unquestionably.
Well, there's an out to be something.
Cracking ride by Binder. He was last at the end of FP. Circuit on a MotoGP bike, not an easy task, but he always finds something. At 2 o'clock.
The inside he goes. In the meantime, out front, the gap maintained at 1.1 between Marquez.
Session that Oliveira's been just a slightly quicker man. He was in there 129s himself again, up 1 second's time in his pocket as well. 7 laps to go. Pressure building up ahead.
7 laps to go, but it's a short circuit out front. 1.1 through sector 1. Marc Marquez leads. In time if he goes on to win this one. What are we watching here? A replay into turn 1. Has he just gone in a bit 2? But it's sector 3 and 4 you need to keep an eye on. Alberto Puig to Takeo Yokoyama. So it's going to be under a second, you'd feel, over the line.
Turbulent times for Marc Marquez and HRC since they returned to the Premier Class in 1982. Winless since Marquez's triumph in Valencia. Quicker, just under a 10th faster than Marc Marquez as we start lap 25.
Right now, Marquez is doing a great job under pressure here, given everything that's gone on over the last year, he is such a steam train.
You can see Marquez on the gas through turn 6 and then down the hill. It's starting to spin up. Has he got enough life left in it again there on the throttle? He has another moment. How much life has he got left in it to hold Oliveira at bay?
It's the man of the era versus the man of the bike. On the approach to turn 13, Santi Hernandez there. Marks
Alberto Puig continuing to egg his man on. It's under a second.
It is under a second. Marquez can maintain this, he'll hold on.
Stunning performance this by Pecco Bagnaia. 10 laps ago the guy was 5th. He's been supreme. He's now up into 7th place, found a way through on that last lap against Mia. And
that we've said it so often in MotoGP. Getting into Q2, prick the ears up of Miguel Oliveira.
Again through turns 8 and 9, you could see that Repsol Honda. He's running out of grip here big time on that rear.
Here is Quartararo. He would got bigger problems at the moment as well. He's dropped to 8, in this race. Here comes Marquez then. 4 did well. A good response on that lap from Marc Marquez.
He's riding out of his skin at the moment, Marquez. Oliveira has thrown absolutely everything at him here. He can't do any more than Miguel Oliveira. He's ridden an absolutely fantastic
centre and around the world, typing up the biggest comeback story in MotoGP, ready to spoil all of that.
Well, there's been some great motorcycling comebacks. You think of a Supersport 300 winner last weekend after such a serious back injury.
Miguel Oliveira used too much tyre in pursuit of Marc Marquez because the gap's gone over a second again. And
yeah, we'll keep a very close eye on it. Pit Byra, KTM Motorsport Director, there's Takeo Yokoyama. We were thinking about how Marquez was under pressure from Oliveira, but likewise, Marquez's pace has broken that resistance because there was a big gap, significant gap on that last lap between the pairs.
It's 1.5, it's from him. He's through on Jack Miller. We have KTM 2nd and 3rd. Excellent from the Espargaro, and he might even have something to say about his teammate up ahead as well.
Bagnaia was doing information. He knows he was going to be quick at this stage of the race. He's just been waiting for everybody else's tyre to drop off a cliff. Looks like he's finally broken Oliveira's resistance. The gap now is up to 1.5 seconds, still through.
Last July, when we returned to MotoGP, it wasn't to be. It's been a sorry story, it's been a sad one. He had an emotional return in Portimao. The comeback king, the king of the ring. He's on for another one. He's undefeated run. And 3/4 of the Sachsenring circuit left. And he's up to 2
positions. He gets the job done. This is Binder finding her way up to 4th place ahead of Jack Miller. What a ride. Games on the podium in Germany. But he's done an outstanding job to come from the 5th row.
Nation to come back to compete. He worked so hard in that test in Catalonia. He wanted to be ready for this. Climbs over the hill and crosses the line. He's got 1 lap left.
And what Marquez? He has been through some of the darkest days you could imagine. Worried about what's gone through over the last 11 months or so, but nearly 600 days after his last fairy tale victory here in the Sachsenring.
Alberto Puig looking on. He's had some tough times and he can't believe it. The Repsol Honda guys better get ready on the edge of pit wall. Their man's coming home.
This is as well. There's going to be a few tears down in that Repsol Honda garage because Marc Marquez, what a comeback, what a return, what a race, what a world champion.
Oh, the king of the ring, Marc Marquez wins here in Germany. Sporting story.
It is 11, it is heaven for Marc Marquez. Can you believe it?
His own eyes. Incredible scenes, incredible. Shout out to the KTM guys and more emotion here, tears from Takaya Yokoyama. You have never seen that before. And Alberto Puig.
Losing streak since returning to MotoGP in 1982. That's all ended.
See it in his eyes on the grid that he wanted this one.